Right then, people, we have got this 1 litre Ecosport in with us today. Same engine as the Ford Fiesta Ecoboost. Common issue. Another common issue on these Ford Ecoboost engines is the Flexi pipe, which is mated to the cat, and it joins the middle section of the exhaust. Now, what happens is the Flexi section breaks. You ring up Ford, they want 800-900 quid for a new cat Flexi section. Now, what we can do on these, let me show you where they break, and I'll show you what the very, very simple fix is, which anyone can do, and you're going to save fortunes. Let me show you, everybody. Let me just lay under here. Now, the customer has had a brand new exhaust system from Ford, but they wouldn't obviously replace this section here, which is where the cat is. And as you can see, ready? See that? It breaks on the Flexi. This is obviously the bracket for it, but what we can do, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do, V-band clamp up here, which on some of the Fiestas have a normal 2-bolt flange, but this one has a V-band. But there's two options that you've got. There is a pipe that you can buy that we will cut from here, and it will replace back to the V-band. Or the other option is you can just replace this centre part here, and I'll show you what the options are. So we keep these in stock. Now, on the normal, some of the normal Fiesta Ecoboost, like I say, have a 2-bolt flange. Then all we'll do, we'll cut it off here just before the bracket. We'll bolt this up and put it in. That will save you a fortune. That's probably 50 quid's worth. The other option is a V-band clamp, which you can buy, which is about 100 quid. Then obviously you've got to do the work, get it fitted up. The cheapest option of them all are these, just these little universal Flexis. And then what we can do is we can cut it off here, and then bolt the two together with some gaskets. And what's really nice about that, it's a nice and easy fit, and they just go on there. So what we'll do, I'll jump under this one, and like I say, these are cheap. So anyone can do it, provided you can get underneath, chop it, and get it in there. It should be absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do, I'll get underneath, we'll get this one off, I'll cut it up, and I'll show you exactly what we've done. And then what we do, I'll get back under there, fit it, and show you exactly what we've done. So you can save yourself, I don't know, 800 quid maybe. So let's get cracking. As you can see on here, guys, all I'm going to do is offer it up. This bracket here might not be able to be reused, but we'll have to make something up. Hopefully we can open it up a bit, and we should be able to get it around the back of that. But all I'm going to do is just stick it up there and see where those painted lines are. We don't want it to go completely to the bottom, but about 10 mil off each side, and you can see that, about 10 mil off each side where that red mark is. So we'll get that cut, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that bracket. What we're going to do, I'm going to quickly buzz these off. In fact, I'll probably use the gun, it'll be easier. Let's have a look at this bracket. Let's see, we're the first thing to try. Yeah, it does look like that bracket will move, so we can potentially modify this to fit. So as you can see on here, guys, this bracket's loose, so we should be able to modify this to fit on the new pipe that we're going to be cutting in a minute. So we should be able to just leave that off. I want to get it out of the way, really. All we're going to do is just prise this apart, because you need to use this on the exhaust. So just pry it apart with a pry bar, and then we can move it up the exhaust, because what we're going to need to do is get that out of the way, so we can, there you go, guys. So what we're going to do, there's no way really of getting in here to cut it with an angle grinder, because I think if you slip, we've got the sump. We have actually tried to get this round the pipe, and there is just not enough room to be able to roll it round using the chain cutter. Now, the angle grinder, as you can see here, will go through to a certain degree, and then I think what we'll try and do is finish it off with the multi-tool with the titanium blades, just to see if we can do that. I've got no issues with this end. This is going to be the easy part, but this is certainly, you've got to be really, really careful. So I'm waiting for the safety glasses. Here we go. You can all laugh if it all goes completely wrong, an old cry if it goes completely wrong. Right, that is about halfway through. I'm going to just try the multi-tool to see if it's even got any cutting on it. Let's just see. Right, now, if you look up there, guys, I'll show you what we got. So what you can do now with a multi-tool, can you see that we've cut that? Now all we're going to do is just take that little bit off, and then we can start cracking on with getting this bit cut, and then hopefully we'll get that sleeved into there, and then we've got a very happy customer. Let's do it. Right, that's that. There we go. So that's that section off. You can see that it's absolutely knackered on there, guys. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to give this a cut. I'll grind these bits off so we have got the heat shield, because I'd like to reuse that, to be fair, and then we'll go from there. Right, people, I think what we're going to decide to do, in the interest of trying to keep this heat shield, we're going to take it off at the V-band. Oh my god, the wind is bad in here. We're going to take it off at the V-band up here, so we can take this section off, and then what we'll do, we'll get a decent cut on it, grind this back, and I'll probably just tack this back on with a welder, so we've got the heat shield back on. Right, let's get this off. I'm going to try and take this rubber off here, undo the V-clamp, which is already undone. Just take that bolt off up here, guys. You'll have to excuse the wind if there's any wind noise, because I'm trying to do this outside to get the light. Plus I've got the engine out in the workshop. We've got an engine out at the front of the workshop. We've got, yeah, it is all go. Right, that's that. And then what we're going to try and do is either get this off from here or up the top. I'd probably prefer to take it off at the top if I can. I will weld it as well. Right, so all we're using is just a pair of these, but I have, in all fairness, split them. So I'm going to be modifying that, and then all you do is just stick them through there and push the exhaust off. See how easy that was, guys? That's it. So now we've got this section off. All I've got to do, that's it. And then all I've got to do is just get that V-band now undone, and then we'll have this pipe off. Alright, next thing we're going to be using is these V-band, special V-band pliers, which you just, there you go. Is the ends are perfect for the V-band clamp, and the great thing is with this ratchet system on here, it holds it in place. So there we go, guys. Let me show you what we've got. So now what we're going to be doing is, you can see how, look at that, absolutely knackered. So now we can get a decent cut on this and get the new one welded in. So that is the cut on there. I'll show you what we'll be using. This one here, it has got a 51mm internal diameter. Length is 29 centimeters or 290 millimeters. And we have got a width of, what's that, 152, is it? There we go. But I'll show you what we're using. That's the part number. And then that should, yeah, fit on there nicely. So we're going to try and bend this bracket and then clamp it over so we can still use the bracket while we are clamping this up. But we'll see, because the good thing is, if you look at the studs, this bracket will sit down a lot further. We can move it a little bit on here, and then we should just be able to get the clamp on here, I'm hoping. But we'll try that now and see how we get on with the clamp. Right, people, so all we've done is just ground the tabs off so we can remove this shield on here. So then we can just finish off the rest of these cuts, and then what we'll do, I'll show you exactly how we're going to fit it up. Right, so now that we've cut, obviously this is the V-band section, we've just quickly taken off the heat shield. This is the extension piece we're going to do that fits on there, beautiful. So I'm going to get that on there, bearing in mind obviously we're going to have to use a clamp for this. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the shield and I'm going to put the shield on, push it down, because it's a bit, you know, it's fairly movable, clean up the welds, and we're just going to tack it back on, because I do still want the heat shield on there. So basically, that's what it's going to look like. And then, yeah, we're going to get it fitted up, make sure we can, I'll probably put the clamp on first, then put it over, because obviously the sump's in the way this end. So we'll get that on, and then we'll get it fitted up. Right, so what we've done, just taken the bracket off, and then what we're going to do, make sure we can get the clamp on here and clamp down. So we're going to just widen this up so we can sleeve this over, and hopefully we can get that sitting in the right place to be able to reuse this bracket. And then all I'll do is I'll just put the clamp on there and we should be good to go. But I've measured this all up, that's all fitting nice, that's going to go back on the B-band, really, really nice. But you think, the customer, it was 800-900 quid from Ford without fitting. So, what an absolutely, and I'm not being funny, that took me 2 seconds to cut this off, measure it up, cut it off. Little bit of a nightmare trying to cut this shield off, but if you take your time and don't pierce through the pipe, just grind down the welds, it comes off lovely. So, let's get this opened up so we can get this on the end. Let's get this fitted back up. Right, what we're going to do, guys, I really want to use this bracket. Now, we've got the right circumference now, but this bracket, we need to bend just this end of the bracket to be able to marry it up so we can get it through the holes. So what we're going to do is try and get this bit really hot, but the difficulty bit is we've got to try and bend this bit without bending this out here. So the only way we can physically do this is by a lot of heat. So we're going to get this really, really hot. Bearing in mind, this is probably 3 mil. So this is thick. But if we can just bend it back round, if we have to slot the ends, we'll slot the ends. But we will see if we can bend this without actually losing the circumference of what we're trying to do. So let's get it really, really hot. Dan's ready with the water. Are you ready with the water? Look at that. All right, let's see what we can do here. See if we can bend this up. Ready? Oh, I can really feel that heat. 3 mil is really hard to bend. So you ready for this, Jay? Ready? Right, as you can see what we've done here, guys. I'm trying to film this upside down. I've managed to put the bracket back on. In the last video, we heated this up and we've bent this round, and I still struggle to get it onto this bracket. So what we've done, we've just removed the E-Torx studs from underneath here. If you look under here, and they just literally will go back in there. The idea of this is we're going to try and draw the bracket round on the nut, so we can get this back round. But I want to make it as the best we possibly can, hence the reason why I'm taking the time to do this. And I think by the time this actually draws itself down, it'll be so tight, we won't really need a clamp on the end of there, because to be honest, that looks absolutely rubbish. You know, if you look underneath the car, why would you want that hanging down from there? So I think we'll get this buttoned up on here, and then we'll just smoke test it to make sure we've got nothing coming through here. But I think we'll be absolutely fine with that. And then we'll stick the clamp on this end, and then we will get the V-band back up into there, and then job will be a good one, guys. So let's get this done. Let's get these nuts on here and then see where we are. That's it. Just got to put the clamp on. There we go, guys. Well, that was a little bit of work, but you know the standards, guys. If you're going to do a job, make sure you do it properly. and that is how we always do it. You have to excuse the wind noise. It has been a very windy day over the last couple of days down here. Have a look at this thing, guys. There you go. So, not going to use the clamp on there because that is well tight. There's the sleeve that we joined. We've kept the bracket, the standard bracket that you get on here. And then what I've done is just turn this sideways. Don't really like things sticking down. It's not going to affect anything. It's not going to hit anything. That's all done. Back on the standard mount, and the V-band is done. So, there we go. Right, get this V-band on. Right, guys, so that is another one done. The Ford Ecoboost, replacing a cat, £900 plus labour. No point, guys. Look, that wasn't that difficult to do. Yes, I wanted to make it absolutely perfect, so I spent a bit more time making sure the brackets fit on. But the good thing is, now that you've seen this video, you should be able to make your life a lot easier by following what we did. Now, this is a cheap section to put in, guys, and it is a very common part on the Ford Ecoboost engine. So, you know what you're doing. I showed you the dimensions. I showed you how I've done it. There's no reason why you can't do it. And while we're on this subject, I'd just like to say a massive, massive thank you to everybody who has tuned in and has subscribed to the channel. It costs you nothing to subscribe. It helps us more than you can know. And then we can make more videos like this for you. So if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe to us, and then we can keep you updated with everything else that you need to fix your car without costing you thousands of pounds. So we'll see you on the next one.